Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ruminations of Redrum. I'm your host, Kyle, with a K. And today we kind of have a full party here, a big house party we got going on. We have returning the final girl, Georgie.
It's like Project X up in this bitch right now.
That's okay. That's not my house party movie, but I'm sure it's your house party movie for your generation.
I've only seen it once, and the one time I saw it, I was like, this would literally never happen in real life, but I appreciate the creativity.
I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about, and I refuse to watch it.
It's a lot. It's way too much.
Doesn't it say based on a true story?
It does.
I think it is. Yeah.
I actually heard it was pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
It is decent.
Yeah, whatever.
It's fun. It's creative.
Okay. Georgie, what have you been up to lately?
Oh, university, dude. It just started back up again. First semester on campus after COVID, and it's wild. Y'all need to wear your fucking masks, please, for the love of everything. I don't care that we're in 100-degree weather. Like, people are dying. Don't be selfish. Thank you.
Thank you. And joining us, returning, we have the new blood, Brendan. Brendan, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It was a nice 70-degree overcast day today. So I took a 2-hour walk, just listen to the No Sleep podcast. It's pretty chill.
Did you walk in the rain?
It did not rain, thankfully. It started to rain right as I got back to my apartment, so I kind of lucked out on that.
Okay. What have you been up to lately as far as reading, writing, watching, viewing?
I just did quite a bit of coverage for Arrow's Fright Fest 2021. I got to see some really, really wild stuff, to say the least.
Tell me about that. What was your main takeaways from that?
My main takeaway is that the pandemic cooped up so many creative people that at this point they're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna make what I want to make. And all 5 films that I covered were super original. They were weird, they were out there, they were different. And yeah, no, so I'm really excited to see what horror is going to be turning into over the next few years with all the scripts that people have been writing when they've been cooped up. So I think that we're going to be pleasantly surprised with some of the stuff that we're going to be seeing over the next couple years.
I'm really excited. I feel like the floodgates are finally open again, and everybody's just putting out shit. And I'm very excited for what's to come. And then returning, actually, as some fan requests, we have joining us from the popular "Don't Breathe" episode, Ian, without an E. Ian, how you doing?
Sorry, I actually changed my name legally, and it's spelled E-Y-E-N. So there's 2 E's.
Sure.
I'm doing good. Kyle. Just got over my sick sinus infection, and I've just been watching a lot of movies lately.
Now, did you get tested to make sure it wasn't COVID?
Yes, several times.
And it was negative?
It was negative, yes.
Okay. You had me on the edge of my seat there for a second, Ian. You got me, man. The suspense was tingling. So what have you been watching lately?
Oh my goodness. A lot of Criterion films. I just got HBO Max, and they have a plethora of Criterion. And they have a lot of new films, and that new Suicide Squad came out. That was awesome. What else? A lot of J-horror, more J-horror. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I follow you on Letterboxd. You do put out a lot of shit. What's What's your favorite movie you've seen in the past, like, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. It would probably be Tokyo Fist. Um, very, odd name, yes, and it's a body horror movie about boxing.
Interesting.
That
It
sounds right up my
is
alley.
it is by a director who is just the most insane person, known to man. He just puts together movies that no one understands, and I love it.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. Add it to the
Yes.
list. Add it to the watch list on Letterboxd, as the kids say. Um, Me, I haven't watched a lot of shit lately. Um, I've been playing a lot of video games, actually.
Ooh.
Um, so the new Ghost of Tsushima DLC came out. That's a PlayStation 4 and 5 game, and I'm just obsessed with it. I can't stop playing it. Uh, it's really good. I mean, if you guys have a PlayStation, if you guys are into games, check it out. It's made by Sucker Punch, the guys who did like Sly Cooper back in the day. They made the infamous games. It's just super rad. The combat's super cool. It's the best just straight up samurai game I've ever played. And I go back pretty far, playing like Bushido Blade, and I played all the Dynasty Warriors games. I've done it all. Onimusha, I love them. But this game is rad, and you can play flutes, the cats, and it's pretty rad. I've also been playing Halo. I jumped back into Halo.
Oh,
bec- I'm really excited for the new Halo Infinite, and I'm a big Halo guy. I grew up with Halo. Um, and so I've been going chronologically through the games, and that is a blast. But I haven't really watched a lot of horror. I've been watching Dexter, um, because I've never seen it. That's pretty horror related, I guess. A serial killer, and I'm on season 4 of that, which apparently is when it starts getting really good. When John Lithgow, I think that's how you say his name, he enters the fray as one of the killers, and so far it's pretty rad. And they're coming out with a new season. They're like rebooting it slash making a new season, so that's what got me kind of hyped for that. But yeah,
did you know that the main actor who plays Dexter is British?
no, and I've seen him in interviews too, and he doesn't have an accent or anything.
It
So
blows my mind.
yeah, that's kind of like when I found out that James Wan was Australian. I saw an interview with him, and like I, he started talking, and I was like, "That's not what I was expecting you to sound like." But okay. W-
Yeah.
Well, folks, today we are covering a 2006 movie called Stay Alive. And this was one of Brendan's recommendations. Thank you, Brendan. I appreciate the recommendation.
Oh, you're
Um,
welcome.
Tell me, before we get into anything here, when did you first see this movie? Like, how did you find it? And just tell me about like a brief history of you in this movie.
So I would say it was one of those movies that every year played on like AMC's Fear Fest or Sci-Fi's. What did they do? The 31 Days of Halloween or
Mm,
something. So I would always see it like advertised, and I never watched it. I thought that I absolutely love video games, and if I could just circle back real quick, my roommate's been playing the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima, and it is so cool. So
that's so good.
I
Yeah.
highly recommend that. Um, but yeah, so I think like at one point in college, it was my freshman year, and I had no cable, so I just bought a bunch of like random horror DVDs, and I saw that in FYE, and it was the director's cut, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm sure that the director's cut's better." And I watched it and absolutely loved it. I was like, "It's trashy, it's dumb, it's so fun. It's everything that I want in a, just a slasher movie." Um, and yeah, and then I found out that the cut that I watched wasn't actually the cut that was released, so I did some digging, and it was kind of fucked how like Disney pretty much just tried to like steamroll the entire thing. Um, but yeah, I think it's super fun rewatching it. May have had a few different opinions now, but yeah, no. So that's pretty much how I found the movie.
Okay. Was anybody so speaking about the director's cut, I know Georgie, I believe you did not see the director's cut, correct?
Well, here's the thing. Um, 16 minutes and 23 seconds into this film, I realized that I have seen it before.
Oh.
And that being said, I don't remember what version I watched when I originally watched it. Couldn't really even tell you when. It was probably when Netflix first like became streaming versus like ordering a DVD that comes in your mail. Holy fuck, that was so long ago. Anyway, I watched it at some point. But when I rewatched the non-director's cut, I did go on YouTube and watch like a collaboration video, I guess, of like the original movie versus the alternative movie. So if that video was accurate, I have an idea of the director's cut.
Okay. Okay. So you get the gist, and okay, so you've seen it before. Um, do you have any history with this movie, Ian?
No, other than in 2006 when I was in second grade. This was the talk of the playground.
Oh, talk of the playground. Wait, 2006. How old were you?
I would have been 7 years old.
7. And a lot of 7-year-olds were talking about Stay Alive, huh?
Oh yeah, oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I so I've never seen the movie, and I don't even remember like so okay, let me back up. I so through watching this movie, there were certain scenes that like triggered like old memories of me remembering watching the trailer back in the day.
Hmm.
But I never saw the movie, but for some reason I remember piecing together like watching the trailer way back in the day, and I was like, "Okay, I know exactly what I'm watching. I know exactly what this is." But prior to watching it, I had no clue what I was getting into. So, um, this movie did come out in 2006. It actually went up against a few good movies. The top grossing horror movies in 2006 were Saw. So there was two actually. Saw 2 and Saw 3 were both top grossing in 2006.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
Wait,
Go figure.
what's up, Ian?
you said Saw 1 and 3?
No, 2 and 3.
Oh, gotcha.
So 2 released in 2005, in October of 2005, but it charted in 2006 and was in theaters for quite a while.
Hmm.
Saw 3 came out in October of that year, so it was pretty much a year apart to the day almost that they released those 2 movies, and they both charted in that year. But Saw 3 was the number 1 grossing horror movie in 2006, followed by The Omen, at number
Yuck.
2, which I just bought the whole
Yuck.
box set, but I haven't
Oh,
seen
the
any of
Scream
them.
Factory one?
I would assume I don't the 2006 one, so I don't know if there's one
Oh wait,
before or after that, so well, I mean, I know the originals, but I didn't know if there was like a
no, your
reboot
box set.
sometime. Yeah. Yeah, the Scream Factory one, yeah.
Gotcha. I want that one.
And then, number 3 was Final Destination 3. Number 4 was When a Stranger Calls.
Is Final Destination 3 the one where they're on the roller coaster?
Yeah.
Oh, just all the bangers this year.
I actually don't remember Final Destination 3 at all. Was it which one was the one with the logs in the car?
That was number 2. That's my favorite one.
Okay. I honestly don't know if I've seen Final Destination 3. But, number 4 was When a Stranger Calls, which the main chick in that movie I thought was going places. I think everyone did in 2006. She looked like the up and comer. I don't have her name on file, so I'm sorry, but she had all the right looks. She was in like 2 or 3 horror movies within that time span, like of like 2 or 3 years, and she just dropped off the face of the earth. I don't know where she went, but um, number 5 was Hostel. And then
Ooh.
finally, number 6, I'm just throwing it in as a, um, what do they call it? Honorable mention because it's video game related. Silent Hill was
Yeah.
that year, 2006. Um, so next we're gonna cover. Okay, I mean, as certain people know, we don't cover the Oscars here. Okay,
No.
we don't cover the Emmys. We don't do any of that. We cover the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, guys.
What?
Uh, that's what we cover here. So, 2006, the best villain of that year was Saw 2, which is Jigsaw, but wasn't the girl the main villain in that movie?
Uh,
Like the daughter or
In
something?
Saw 2, no, Amanda, no, she was just the apprentice. Um, Jigsaw was still the one that set everything up. Technically, I think he might have been, like, really dying by the second one. But Amanda was like a pawn in the game. Like, do you remember? She was in the game, she was in the bed full of needles, she was throwing
Yeah.
all the needles aside, yeah. So, like, from the start, she had the cure to the poison that was poisoning them. But Jigsaw was the one that still set everything up and was distracting the detective from, and his son was safe the whole time. Oh my god, Saw 2 was so triggering, honestly. It was wild. I remember it so vividly because that shit was crazy when I was 9 years old.
I really need to rewatch the Saw movies. I have them all. I think I've only seen up to the 4th one, but,
Oh my
um,
god.
yeah, I remember Saw 2 being pretty gnar.
I think
Um,
personally the first and the second one are kind of the best. I think Ian might feel that way too. Am I right, Ian?
I second. Because I'm a Donnie Wahlberg fan.
Yeah. So I'm not going to tell you it goes uphill, Kyle, from what you've seen, but it does kind of
But
fill in the circles and everything.
okay, okay. Well, unfortunately for the 2006 Chainsaw Awards, our good old movie Stay Alive didn't chart on anything there, but,
Oh.
really?
What?
Unfortunately.
Frankie freaking Muniz? Come on.
that's
Um,
surprising.
yeah, yeah. I just wanna mention that, The Descent was nominated in almost every category during this year, and it didn't win anything.
Oh, rip. Oh
And I know
god.
that's Ian's favorite horror movie, so I just wanted to mention that. Um, have you guys seen The Hills Have Eyes remake or the one that came out in 2006?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I haven't seen it,
I haven't seen any of
but
them.
okay. It won in bloodiest beatdown over the Descent fight Juno versus Sarah and the Crawlers, where they're all just going at it. It beat that scene.
Yeah.
So
It is I feel like it's a bit over the top in some places. I think that it's super gory and, uh, honestly, I like it more than the original.
interesting. Interesting.
I agree.
Interesting. I've only seen the original, but that intrigues me to want to watch that. That's cool. Um, there was a couple others. The highest body count that year went to Slither, James Gunn movies. Speaking of which, made
Hmm.
Suicide Squad. And then the scariest film that year in 2006, surprisingly, wasn't Stay Alive. It was the the Devil's Rejects. The Devil's Rejects won the scariest film that year. Oh,
Dude, Devil's
huh.
Rejects is really good. I wouldn't really call it scary. It's fucking
Yeah, me neither.
whack. It is wild. House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, even
3 from Hell.
yes, Three from Hell, which
I
I saw
haven't
in
seen Three from Hell
theaters.
yet.
I saw it in theaters. I got a bumper sticker for going on the second night that it was in theaters. It was really good. I mean, anything with Sherry Moon Zombie as eye candy, I'm gonna love because holy,
Mm.
oh my god, she is a gift from above. Thank you so much, Rob, for letting us see the angel that is your wife. Um,
Is anyone excited for the Munsters?
I'm curiously optimistic, but I wouldn't say excited.
oh no.
It's Rob Zombie, and I like his style. Like, I'm a big Rob Zombie fan. I actually like all of his movies. I haven't seen Three from Hell, and I haven't seen Lords of Salem, but I
Ooh, that's a
actually
good one.
yeah, I heard it is. I like all of his Halloween movies. Um, and I love The Devil's Rejects. The Devil's Rejects is one of my favorite. I love that movie. So, I mean, I think he could pull it off? Sure. I mean, it's one of his favorite like IPs that he's into. I can't imagine him doing comedy or like even throwing in a little bit of comedy, but I mean, um, yeah, like I'm curious. I'm optimistic, but I'm not like, oh my god, I can't wait. But we'll
That's
see.
fair.
Yeah. And then just one more because I'm into special effects. The Hills Have Eyes won for best makeup and special effects over The Descent, Silent Hill, and Slither, and Underworld Evolution. Which Ian, where's my boy? Underworld.
That's a good one. It's a prequel.
Okay. I've only seen the first one, so. Okay, guys. So today, like I said, we are covering Stay Alive, 2006 film distributed by Walt Disney Studio Motion Pictures.
What?
Is it safe to say that this is the only Disney horror movie?
It's the only Disney slasher.
It's the only Disney movie that says fuck and talks about fucking and shows some fucking.
There's a lot of fucking going on.
A lot. I saw some full ass butt cheeks. All right. Oh my god,
Yeah,
Walt, what's going on?
there was some man butt for sure. So is there like other Disney horror movies? I
That
didn't do the research on that.
There's one that came out like when I was a child. Brendan and Ian, and maybe even you, Kyle, probably know about it. It's the one that was like something about the dark or like the boogeyman or something. There was like this guy with like some sharp ass nails underneath the bed, and he was like, "Arr!" You don't know what I'm talking about?
I'm vaguely familiar. It's called The Boogeyman, right?
Yeah,
Is it? I thought
I've
it
heard of
was.
it.
Okay, I don't remember. I just remember he wore like a purple like he kind of looked like Prince, I won't lie.
Hell yeah.
But it wasn't Prince, obviously. He had like yellow, like sharp teeth, and like Michael Jackson in Thriller when his eyes like do that thing at the end of the music video. It was kind of like that, but like 24/7. I'm so sorry, I don't remember the name of it, but that
So he's like
movie.
the king of pop, haunting you under your bed.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that
I
It's
doesn't
need
kind
you
of
to
sound
look
too
this
bad,
movie
does
up
it?
after the episode, and I need you to put it in the Discord because I'm all in from your
Okay,
description.
I will
I'm
look
all
it
in.
up. It is that movie genuinely gave me nightmares as a child, but other than that, oh, Thumbelina. I don't fuck with Thumbelina. Mm-mm.
Let's get into the logistics, people. This movie was directed by William Brent Bell, which I didn't know was all. He also directed The Boy,
Yeah, I was
and
surprised by that.
yeah, a little surprised as well. He directed The Boy and the sequel, The Boy 2, or Bram's The Boy 2. Did not know that. I bought that movie, haven't seen it yet.
That was the one with the like child
weird
doll,
flex.
right?
Yo, spoilers. Um,
I didn't hear it, thank God.
Well, that's like in the trailer though, but okay.
Well, I didn't know what you said,
Didn't
so
he also do The Orphan?
he
No.
did. No, well, no. I'm sorry. He's actually directing a movie, a prequel to 2009's Orphan called First Kill. Orphan First
Right.
Kill. So that's coming out soonish, I guess.
That's cool. I like that
Yeah.
movie.
Haven't seen that either, but I remember
What?
the trailer and the images and all that kind of stuff.
Wait,
So
you haven't seen Orphan?
I haven't seen Orphan. No,
Dude,
Oh
that
my
movie's
god.
wild.
it's a
Oh my
wild.
god. It's
Holy
wild. I
shit,
own it.
yeah.
You can borrow it. It's not Blu-ray, but you can borrow it if you want.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll check it out. Well, actually, judging from your guys' response, maybe I'll just fucking buy it. I'm sure it's pretty cheap now.
That's accurate.
Yeah. He also
Doesn't
directed. Oh,
doesn't
sorry.
Stellan
Go ahead.
Skarsgård hang dong in that?
Does he? I wouldn't know.
I mean Peter. I don't know why I said Stellan.
I want to
Yeah.
say probably. Hopefully.
We might have
Anyways,
to bring back Rate That Dong with Dom. You know, it's a lost segment in time, but we might have to bring that back. He also directed The Devil Inside from 2012, and I'm pretty sure that's like a
Found footage.
Yeah, found footage like exorcism kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that either, but he had a little more pedigree than I thought he did. We'll just put it that way. Um, I couldn't find the budget on the movie,
Oh man.
unfortunately, but it made it made domestically 23 million, internationally 4 million. So, judging from that, making around 27-28 million dollars, what would you guys peg the budget for this movie?
Oh, that was actually one of the pieces of information I found. It's around 7 million.
Oh,
Oh
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I
Is
think I
that
think I think I heard it in the director's commentary or something around there.
okay? That's actually about 6 million more than I thought it was gonna be. So give or take. Give or take. No, I'm kidding. Did you guys watch the commentary at all? That's on the DVD?
I put it on and I zoned in and out through it.
Yeah, same. It's pretty cringy. Pretty cringy. Um, at least I thought so. There was a few parts that where I was like, "What are you talking about?" So this movie is starring John Foster as Hutch, Samara Armstrong as Abigail, Frankie Muniz, "Yo, not the boss of me now" as Swink, Jimmy Simpson as Finn, and Sophia Bush as October, which is like
Who picked these names? My god.
Yeah, these names are absolutely wild. I love the early 2000s. I love the early 2000s.
Hutch, Abby, Swink, Finn, and October.
But I
And
mean, one of the other characters' names is Loomis Crawley. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah,
yeah. Shout out to Halloween. Um,
you forgot about
so
Phineas, my man.
well, I called him Finn, but yeah, his name is
Oh,
Phineas.
Fucking Liam McPoyle.
I love
is
that guy, dude. I love
it
him.
is Finn short for Phineas?
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Wow,
else would it be short for?
that's a good question. I didn't think I didn't think it was short for anything.
All right. With the logistics out of the way here, let's just dive in and go over what we thought of this movie. Now, I'm going to give it to Brendan first just because this was one of his picks, his recommendations. Brendan, what did you think of Stay Alive 2006?
I thought it was poggers. F's in the chat for Elizabeth Bathory. Like,
Mm-mm.
no, I don't know why. I just think it's a really fun movie. It looks bad. It sounds bad. It's aesthetically not pleasing whatsoever, but I just think it's so fun. The kills look like shit. The
Oh my
writing is
god.
the writing is garbage. But like it's just I think it's just wildly entertaining. Like I couldn't stop grinning when I was watching it. The I think that the premise is fun. I think that the characters or that the actors did well with what they were given. Um, and yeah, I just think that it's definitely not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I feel like a lot of people would watch it and be like, "This is terrible. Why are you making me watch this?" But yeah, I just think it's entertaining.
Okay. Ian, we're gonna roll it over you next as
Oh,
being the returning guest. What do you think about Stay Alive?
before I say anything, the main guy who plays Dexter is from Raleigh, North Carolina, not British.
That
And
makes a lot of sense.
I swear, I thought he was British. I don't know. It's probably one of those things that your mom tells you, and you like believe it. I don't know. And
Fair enough.
also, Underworld Evolution's fake fan, because that is the sequel. I was thinking of the third movie. Um,
God, you're 0 for 2 today.
I know, I feel like I lied. I'm just a damn liar. But this movie, I put it on the highest pedestal of them all. Why are you laughing?
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Um, it's been on my watch list since a watch list has been conceived. for my life. And my only gripe with this movie is the film quality. Some of it looks like it was shot on a Motorola Razr, and some of the scenes just look like an anti-smoking ad or like a Paramore music video. Like, it just looks
Paramore.
bad.
Oh no.
The camera quality, and I know it's not the DVD, because some of the scenes are shot like perfectly normal. Like, it's not blurry, it's not distorted, it doesn't have like a filter in any way. But you know how in like modern day movies, whenever they do like a throwback scene to like the early 2000s, they put like a filter on. This is what the filter looks like. Like, they are referencing this movie. Where am I going with this? Yeah, didn't like the camera quality, but everything else I can live with. To be honest, I thought it was pretty decent acting, and just it was a fun cast. It was a fun cast. Also, I like the way they shot the video game, because they could have used something from 2006, and that probably would have looked that probably wouldn't have held up as well.
As well as what was there, yeah.
Yes,
For sure. Georgie, stay alive. What do you think?
Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I don't know. It had good vibes all around. I really liked the video game play. I didn't love how it like switched from first person to third person like a lot with zero explanation. Like, as a gamer, that kind of pissed me the fuck off. I was like, what is happening? Am I in first person or third person? Make up your mind. But other than that, honestly, like, it was like Brendan said, just absolutely had me smiling like basically the entire time. It was ridiculous. It was so absurdly awesome. They didn't have to go as hard as they did, but they did, and I appreciate it a lot. It was very rewarding.
Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So this movie.
Wait, how did you feel about it?
Oh, I'll tell you. I'll tell you, Brendan. I'll tell you exactly what I thought of this movie. So, this movie was terrible, and I thought the acting was atrocious. I thought I agree with Ian. The film quality. There's certain scenes where it goes from like 720p to like 10p, and it just changes on the fly out of nowhere, and I had no idea why. The story didn't make sense, but it was a cool premise. Uh, Everything about this movie was bad, and yet I enjoyed the hell out of myself the whole time watching it. I watched this with my girlfriend, and we were cracking up at 90% of the movie that was going on. We were like, the quotes of the movie. Oh, dude, the quotes. I already have a couple lined up, and I'm curious if you guys have any favorites.
Oh yeah,
I got a good one.
There's some quotes in this movie that genuinely, like, I laughed out loud just because of how bad they were, but in a good way. And I will say that the vocabulary used in a lot of like things they say in that has not aged well. It's not really super appropriate for the times now. But that aside, this movie was. I almost feel like this movie was like 15 years too early. Like, I feel like this movie could be made now and be really cool. And especially because this movie was made in a time where gaming was huge. I mean, we were on the cusp of 2007 when we were about to enter one of the greatest years of gaming. I mean, Mass Effect, BioShock, this Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which started the whole Call of Duty thing. Like, we were on the cusp of like video games exploding that next year. And I think that this movie would do really well now. I mean, we see like Ryan Reynolds, what's that new movie called?
Free Guy.
Free Guy, yeah. And now they have so many subtle gaming references about him being an NPC and stuff. And the audience watching it, even if they don't play games, like they know what all these terms are and they know what they're referencing, even if they don't play games, because they either have kids that play games or they grew up with friends that played games or they play games themselves. And I feel like this movie could really like really work for an audience today, and not only with like the themes and what it's about, but also the budget. Like if it was given a good budget, this premise could work really well. But that being said, this movie it's real bad. It's a real bad movie. But I did enjoy it quite a bit. My girlfriend hated it, but that almost like increased my enjoyment just to see her get worked up with certain things. But we were going back and forth and like talking about scenes, and it was one of those classic horror things where like 90% of the enjoyment that I got out of this movie was the interaction with the people around me while watching the movie. And not every horror movie has that kind of like interaction quality to it, and this one did. So I'm for $3, I am glad that I bought this movie because it is a product of its time. 2006, the year I graduated high school, baby. It's a great year, and it did take me back with a lot of the references. I mean, the gaming references then, and like I loved. Okay, well, I'm going on a tangent. I'm going on a tangent. I did enjoy the movie, even though it was trash. I am curious though, what quotes from the movie you guys enjoyed. We'll start with Ian, and just feel free to talk.
It was just one quote. It was at the end where Swink
This is my
was.
favorite one too. This is my favorite one too.
He stays by the van and
Yep.
he says, "I'll take care of these punk ass bitch motherfuckers."
Yeah, yeah. That quote was, "You guys get out of here. I got these punk ass bitch motherfuckers handled." I love it.
Yeah, it's too much. It's just that line just doesn't work. Like, who's ever said that in their life?
What about you, Brennan?
Yeah, the the line that I had was from Phineas. That girl's got body karate.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. George, you got any good lines?
I pretty much liked anything Phineas said. One that I really liked, which in the director's cut, I'm assuming it says, "Can we skip the cinematic foreplay? I want to fuck." But in the one that I watched, he says, "Can we skip the cinematic foreplay? I want to butter this muffin." And I thought that was really, really funny.
It's almost
That's
I
better.
amazing.
also,
It's almost
yeah,
better, yeah.
yeah, I also really liked his one shirt that he was wearing, like right before he was like, "The pace of this game is really slow." And then the next scene he's like sweating, like heaving because they're fighting so many zombies in the graveyard or whatever. And his shirt, his wife beater that he's wearing underneath whatever he was wearing before, it says "Who farted?" And I thought that was just so funny because I was like, that is perfect for him. 11 out of 10 character like analysis right there.
When I knew this movie was really flying off the rails is when that one girl was like, "Anyone who says size doesn't matter has never played a third person shooter." And I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I had zero clue what was going on. And I was like I looked like I paused the movie and I looked over and I was like, "What the fuck is she talking about?"
You don't know, Kyle? You don't know?
Apparently not. A third I mean, I get the context of it, but like the third person shooter thing, it just didn't make sense to me. But what do you guys so Brendan,
Yes.
I'm gonna take it back to this because you being a writer, what do you think about the premise of the movie? And like what do you think about it works and doesn't work?
I Well, to kind of go off what you said earlier, I think that nowadays a reboot of this would go over really well if it was handled properly and given a really decent budget. Because like the idea that you die in a game, you die in real life, that's terrifying. Like I play a shit ton of Call of Duty. Like if you died in real life every time you played around a Call of Duty, like I'd be dead immediately. I'm terrible at the game. So I just think that the concept is great. The writing was weird. It is a product of its time. Like at one point, Frankie Muniz is wearing his gamer gloves, and he rips them off, and he's like, "These are gay." Like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, whatever. That's probably not what would be said, but the I think that the dialogue was one of the biggest detractors of the script because it's pretty much just like overly expository. And right after they all read the poem at the beginning of the game, October, again, weird name. October's like, yeah, the undead can't cross the twig of a rose or something. I'm like, okay, that's probably the clunkiest sentence I've ever heard in a movie. Um, but, I think that the script was one of the worst aspects of the movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. I that a lot of the shit that was said, it hasn't aged well, like I said, and unfortunately, it doesn't have that dialogue that's kind of timeless now. Like you could tell it's aged, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, it's fortunate. Um, Ian, what do you
What's
think
up?
about the premise and the concept of the movie?
Oh, it's great. I mean, like Brennan said, I mean it's pretty terrifying. Like you die in a game, you die in real life. I do think this would be a good remake, like you said, Kyle. Um, I actually didn't mind the dialogue. I went to bed that night thinking about all the enjoyable movies that are a product of its time, like Alien Resurrection and The Crow is a perfect example. Like that movie is the most '90s thing to come out of the '90s. Um, Movies like RoboCop too. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Georgie, would you play and stream this game and ask everybody to smash that like button?
Um, no, I would not. I mean, if I realized that, like, I was gonna die anyways, no matter what, I would've played the game. I would've been like, "Yo, let's get this shit over with. Let's fucking win, beat, fight that final boss, find the key, whatever. Let's do it." Um, but no, I would not play this game. Do I look No, don't answer that. I'm not even gonna ask that question because I don't wanna hear your answer. No, I would not play this game. Thank you.
I almost wanted to get really into reading about who it's about, the Countess Elizabeth Bathory. Have you like did you guys check out anything on her before the cast?
No.
Is that, like,
Okay.
actually real?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So like
Oh
Oh, really?
god.
so she's been labeled so this is per Wikipedia, but she's been labeled by the Guinness World Records as the most prolific female murderer.
Holy shit.
Um the number of
Whoa!
her victims is debated, but the countess and four collaborators were accused of torturing and killing hundreds of girls and women between 1590 and 1610. The highest number of victims cited during her trial was 650 kills. But this number comes by claims of a servant girl that she like wrote down in her journal about it and stuff. But I thought that was super interesting, and so I kind of want to look into her a little bit. Like that sounds cool. Um,
Where was this based then if it was a real story? Like, was it in the United States? Like, what state? Do you know?
That's amazing.
no,
I
no.
think
So it's
England, right?
actually what's that?
Was it England?
No, it was Hungary.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. And apparently, like the stories describing her like vampiric tendencies and stuff, um, that like they took that from that. So like in the movie, like she bathed in the blood of her virgins to retain her youth and stuff. That like they were
Yeah.
so those rumors were recorded after her death and are considered like unreliable because like there's not actual documentation. It's more just like word of mouth. But she was definitely killing fools, like 650 plus, you know, and like I don't know. Now
Wow.
it's like a national folklore over there, apparently. So I didn't know this movie was kind of loosely based on that whole thing, but I thought it was super interesting. Um,
That's amazing.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
like I feel like they kind of just threw that in just for added story.
yeah. They could have really capitalized on that, and like they didn't go into that at all. But it was like this super crazy folklore, just disguised as this like B-rated horror movie.
Wow.
Um, what'd you guys think of the kills? Ian, I'll throw it your way.
Were there was there a good one? Were there?
All right, roaster.
I actually thought of this. I was like, I really hope we don't go over the kills because they're not good. There's
Uh,
they're not good.
you didn't
I
have
didn't
one
like
that
it.
you even remotely liked at all?
I personally did not like any of the kills. Like
Damn. Did it even make you feel something?
the one um where Phineas got ran over by the horse-drawn carriage. Um, that made me feel happy, because I was like laughing because of how
Oh.
bad the graphics were. Um,
You're not wrong.
like when he got like sucked in towards the screen for some reason, it was just terrible animation. Um, I guess the detective's death was decent. I just didn't like the editing at all of this movie.
So in the detective's death, did you see more than like was it
Yes.
gory in the director's cut? Because in mine I
Oh,
didn't see anything.
It kind of like
yeah.
snipped away, like right before the things like
So like
ripped his face apart.
you see like a back shot or not a back. Oh my god. A
his
far
front win
shot.
his
I'm so sorry. A far shot of his truck, and then you hear him scream, and then like blood splatters. Because that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was hilarious too, where like they're interrogating Hutch and Swink in front of the car
Mhm.
after Finn dies, and the detective's like, "Let me take a look at this game. How do I start it?" And Finn's like, "Oh yeah, you just hit this button." Like he's just like letting him start the game when they
Wait, what?
clearly,
Is that really what happened for you guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So
in the
like,
version that I watched, he was literally like, "Hey, I don't think you should," and then the guy was like, "I'm not a pussy. Load it up," and he was like, "Okay," and then he did
well,
it.
yeah, that's what, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
I just think it's funny because if like they were on this whole like you're gonna die if you play this game, but he gives in so easily. He's like, yeah, you fuck it, go ahead, play it.
It's true, yeah.
But what about you, Brendan? Any kills? Anything that
yeah,
sparked your fancy?
yeah, so also if I could just comment real quick on the quality of some of the shots, mainly the kills. So when Disney saw the rough cut, which was the director's cut that's on the DVD, they refused to let them finish like the special effect, like any CGI and touch ups and stuff. So all the like grainy scenes that are in the movie are like the scenes that were cut, and Disney refused to let them color correct or do anything to make them look nice, which is why a good portion of the movie just looks like complete shit. Um, but no, I think that Phineas's death is it's it's interesting. I think, and what was the other one? Oh, October. Like, why did she go into that building? She
Made zero
knows
sense.
she knows that that a ghost is trying to hunt them down and kill them. So she sees the ghost and she's like, "I'm gonna go check this out," and then gets her throat slit. So
Yeah, I so just going back to what you said, I guess I mean not knowing because I've only seen the director's cut, but that would make sense if the only scenes that were grainy and shitty were the scenes that were supposed to be cut.
Yeah, and like there's two
That's interesting to
character
me.
there's two characters that aren't even in the PG-13 cut, and those two characters explain the entire movie.
Which two characters?
The game developer and the author.
Weird. I mean, I guess that whole game developer scene isn't really necessary.
It's not, but at least the scene with the author, like it explains the backstory of
Of
the
the
ghost
Countess.
and stuff. Yeah, in the PG-13 cut, they're just like, "Oh yeah, the ghost coded the video game." Like
What? I
Interesting,
don't remember.
interesting.
I don't remember them saying that, but I definitely remember writing in my notes how frustrated I was that, like, not only once, but twice were they on their way to go meet the game developer, and then it never happened. And I was like, "What? Like, you're just talking about, like, how everything's gonna be solved when you talk to this game developer, and then you go to meet them, but then you don't, and somehow you end up at her real life mansion without meeting the game developer?" Like, it didn't add up. So you, Brendan, saying that makes me realize why. I didn't realize that they cut those scenes out.
I realize none of this makes sense, but wouldn't have made more sense if the witch did code the game? Because okay, look, okay, hear me out. So you got the game developer who just makes a game and then it happens to get haunted? Like, I don't understand, like, the connection between that, or did I miss that? Like, why was the game he made, why was it being, like, why did it get turned into how it, like, how did it get turned into how it did?
I don't think that they ever actually really explain that because they talk to the developer and he's like, "Yeah, if you want to know about the lore of this person that I made the game on, go talk to the author." And the author's like, "Yeah, she killed virgins and bathed in their blood." And we're like, "Okay, cool, whatever, but why is she in the game?"
Maybe it's this, what do they call it? Like, the seance thing that the people have to, like, speak in the beginning of the game. Maybe that's what activates it. Well, I mean, that is what
That's
activates it, but maybe
yeah.
that's what, like,
It's
infuses the spirit into the
yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, at one point when October was still alive, RIP to my goth queen, but she was talking about how, like, any spirit can be brought back to life with the right text. It was
There
the
you go, yeah.
diary that they recite at the beginning, so that would make sense.
So then technically it was probably the writer behind it the whole time then, right? Because she wrote the game, right? Or no?
I didn't
No,
see that scene, so I can't
no,
answer.
I'm pretty sure she wrote the book that the guy
Yes, sorry.
based the game off of.
Yes, that's what it is, okay.
So yes, technically you are correct.
That writer is also one of the main chicks in the Silent Hill movie that came out that year, so she was putting out some bangers, dude, I'll tell you what. Um, okay, so is there anything else you guys wanna cover on this before we get into our ratings?
Yes.
You didn't
What's up?
ask me about my favorite kill.
Oh my god, Georgie, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Final
Oh,
girl,
wow.
what is your favorite
Ugh.
kill? Talk to me.
Awkward.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, sorry, Brendan, but I actually really liked October's death. Do I agree that she was a dumbass for going in that abandoned house after hearing a bitch scream? Absolutely, but like
100%.
that's just like a horror movie thing. Like everybody's stupid. Um the reason why I liked her death so much is because, like, after she decided to, like, stop screaming and, like, directly look at the witch, she was like, "Go fuck yourself," and then she got fucking killed. But, like, honestly, stick it to the man to the end. I really love that.
The woman.
Yeah, you're right, the woman.
Okay. Okay, I can get behind that. I can get behind that. I just wanna say that I don't have a favorite kill per se, but my favorite scene to a kill is when Adam Goldberg, which is the, coked out boss, Miller, when the camera zooms in on his face really fast and he's screaming bloody murder, it's probably one of the hardest times I've laughed in 2021. Like, it was it was hilarious, and, if I could have that scream as, like, a GIF, like, somebody needs to make that scream a GIF. That's all I'm saying. But I didn't really have any favorite kills. Um, I thought that Abigail was gonna get killed at the end. I kinda wish she would've, but only because, when Hutch was nailing the nails in the witch, he took 42 hours to nail in each nail.
Oh my god, I totally wrote that
Yeah.
down. I was like, "Why are you taking so fucking long? Like, she is about to die."
Why
And
did he
he's
need
like
to do that, by the way?
S
per
drama, the drama.
no. Per the book
Oh, yeah,
of,
what
like, the
October
witch hunt
said.
thing, like, that's how you put a witch back, like, the soul back into the body or whatever.
Oh, must have
So,
missed that part.
yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But, yeah, with how slow he was going, I was like, "This is insane. This is insane." I thought that the, horse carriage boss fight towards the end of the game was hilarious. When they're in the great or the Monolithium or whatever the fuck it's
Mausoleum.
called.
The boss
Mausoleum,
fight.
thank you. That boss fight was pretty funny to me. When he stood up and, like, spin around and held the rose and then, like, whoosh, it vanished, that was funny.
Oh my
Um,
goodness. Yeah, that scene.
that got
The drama.
that
Oh,
got me pretty good.
that's
Um,
hilarious. Uh,
what um, I'll say that I actually enjoyed the last 30 minutes of the movie. The whole scene where, like, Swink is on the computer guiding him through the house while he's playing was like very like Matrix-esque as like being the operator, and he was like, "You gotta go this way, you gotta go left." And then he tries to get into the one door, and he's like, "Man, there's no way I could get in this door." And then he like drops the crowbar in game, and it appears in real life, which I thought was weird. Um, but yeah, the last 30 minutes was actually stronger than I thought it was gonna be. Um, but yeah,
uh, there are some little beginning scenes that are cringe AF, if you would. Like when the sister brings her dead brother's video game collection to the funeral. Um, I thought that was a little odd. Thought that was a little out of place. And then it goes to Hutch's apartment where he's cleaning red solo cups. Did you guys notice that?
I
yeah,
did
that's what
not notice that.
Dude,
Like
that's
I
he's
what people do,
definitely
right?
noticed it. I literally wrote it down in my notes. I was like, cleaning a red solo cup? What the fuck is going on? Especially like a few minutes after that happened, it showed like a wide view of his apartment. Homie had a nice
yeah,
apartment. Like, why are you washing your red solo cups right now? Oh my god.
he
Was that
legit.
apartment
Go ahead.
above the coffee shop? Like, it looked like it was, like, above the coffee shop scenario, or am I tripping?
I don't know. I mean that goes with the editing again. Like
Yeah, 'cause with the way the movie was edited, it looked like they, like, walked upstairs to the apartment, but
yep.
maybe I'm tripping. I thought it was weird that they had a giant poster of Steam Boy on the back of their wall. Great
Yo,
movie,
what is that?
great anime. It's a good anime if you look it up. When it came out, it probably came out that year actually, which is why they were, pushing it so hard, but, like, the animation was, like, a big deal when that movie came out. Like, people tripped over it, and, like, I remember it being really popular, but, I just thought that was really random. But,
Um, and then the last scene where it's like unnecessarily awkward for him to just hand Abigail some toilet paper. Like it just seems so weird. It just seems so drawn out, and he like kept the door open and like just looked at her legs as she's like taking a shit.
Wait, I'm so sorry. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, that's weird.
Like the Abigail needed toilet paper because Hutch was out of it, and he had it in his hands, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna. Do you want me to get October to pass it through the door?" She's like, "No, just go ahead and pass it through the door." He's like, um,
I
okay."
I I definitely
Oh
did
well,
not see what you're talking about.
it's
it's
just one of those scenes where, like, it was trying to establish how awkward he was with girls and stuff, but it was just weird. It was
I
just weird.
I hate that. That's awful.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Okay.
Um Okay, so I guess we can, unless you guys have anything you wanna add, we can get into final thoughts and ratings?
I have a lot.
Let's
I have
give it to me,
questions.
George.
Brendan, do you have anything to add?
Um, I just think that if people get the chance to check out the director's cut, I think that they should go ahead and do it because it's like I think the majority of us have said it's really fun. I wouldn't recommend watching the PG-13 version. That's my final thought.
Fair enough. Georgie, what's up?
Alright, first of all, there was this one part, I don't remember exactly what it was, but somebody was talking to somebody about a PDA sex thing and if they were into it or not. What the hell does that mean?
I actually don't know, and I was wondering the same thing. I'm on it.
I just when he said that, I was like, okay, granted, I was like 8 years old when this movie came out, but also, like, I have never heard of this at all.
Well, I mean, PDA is just public displays of affection, but I don't know what, like, the whole sex thing is
Yeah, is it, like,
with it.
actually sexing in public? Which, like, ooh, okay, 2006, calm down, but
Everything's just coming up as PDA, so I don't like, I think they were just referring to PDA
alright, that's
from
fair.
from what it
Secondly,
looks like.
when Abigail, right? The blonde, that's her name?
Mhm. Which
When
which 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 hold on, I just gotta say, which she has the worst wig ever. That's a wig, right? Can we all agree that's a wig?
Yeah.
I'm
I gotta know if it's a wig.
I want
It's
to
a
believe it's not.
it's a terrible wig, dude. Okay, I'm on it. Go ahead.
Okay, well, when she first meets, god damn it, the main guy, the hottie with the body, what's his name? Somebody help me.
Frankie
Hutch?
Muniz.
Hutch, thank you,
Frankie
sorry.
Muniz.
I mean, also
Yes.
Frankie Muniz, but no,
Yes.
I was referring to Hutch. When they first meet, she literally, like, stares at him creepily, takes a photo in the distance, and then walks up to him, literally in his face, flash and all, ka-ching! And he looks at her, "Did you just take a photo of me?" She's like, "Yeah, you are like the saddest person here, but you're the only one not crying, so I took a photo." And that was it. That was their whole last conversation. That was the only context we got of her walking up and taking this close ass shot. And then
I also
after
wanna get some
that
clarification on that scene, if you're done with it.
oh, go ahead, yeah.
Okay, I'm interrupting, I'm sorry, but here we go. So, she says that she was going there because she was the girl that died, she was really good friends with the girl that died, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, I always thought I would take photos at her wedding, not her funeral," but that wasn't her funeral, right? That was Loomis's funeral.
No, it was all 3 of them. It was Loomis
Oh, okay.
and the 2 roommates that were also killed the same night.
Okay, continue.
Yeah,
A triple funeral, it's weird, but go ahead.
a triple threat? Anyway,
I mean,
um,
there was also an exchanging of will items at the funeral, so
it's true, it's true.
if you want to go there.
But yeah, I literally didn't understand, like, that interaction whatsoever. It felt very strange, and then at the end of it, she literally handed that creepy ass photo to him. She was like, "Here's my number. If you ever need to talk, call me." And then he gets her sucked up into, like, a murder video game, and it was just a lot. Also, their kiss at the end of the movie, like, after he saved her life, that was so awkward to me, like, part of me was like, "Oh, that's cute," but part of me was also like, "That is, like, not the time. Now is not the time."
I mean, if you're about to die, you know?
But he
Oh,
had
the
also just, like, held October as she was dying, and it was to me, kinda seemed like he was a little bit into her, I don't know, y'all tell me what you think, but I just thought it was an interesting, dynamic that was going on. But you're right, if you're about to die, why the fuck not?
Okay. Well, since you're already on a roll, Georgie, what are your final thoughts and rating for Stay Alive 2006?
Honestly, anything with Frankie Muniz just makes my heart happy, uh, God, he was such an icon. He is still an icon. Um, it was really entertaining. Like I said, have seen it before, but for whatever reason, I didn't really remember. Like, I remembered certain moments, but I didn't remember, like, the whole backstory. So, like, relearning it was very interesting, but I was still on board. I still really appreciated it. I also love how, like, at the end of the movie, he defeats her, quote unquote, using a fucking Alienware laptop. Like, that was
Hell
kinda
yeah.
sick. Um, yeah, do you want my rating? Are we doing that now?
Yep.
Alright, well, I'm gonna have to say, like, a solid 80%.
All right.
It wa
80%
it
it is.
it was just super entertaining. Like, am I saying that this movie is scary? Absolutely not. No. But it's a good movie. Like, I was thoroughly entertained the entire time. It was hilarious. It had its moments where I was like, "Okay, this is, like, kinda spooky." And then it had its moments where I was like, "This is absolutely fucking ridiculous, but I love every second of it." So, yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Ian, final thoughts and rating.
So in Georgie's mind, this is better than that one zombie movie that you love.
28 Days Later.
No, not that one. The comedy.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, I don't know why I
Gotcha.
couldn't think of the movie. Um. Anyways,
Alright,
you
well,
know what's
to be fair,
okay?
I
Okay,
did
no, give it to me. Give it to
I don't remember what I rated Shaun of the Dead, but,
me. It was low. It was low.
Ian, we're not rating shaming here, okay?
yeah, I would've rated it higher if I had remembered that I rated this higher. So, anyway, continue.
Um. Very fun movie. You know, it's really bad and it's very fun. And I actually like William Brent Bell as a director. He puts out some fun stuff. I like The Boy. Thought it was very entertaining. Had a good plot twist. I liked The Devil Inside. Terrible ending. The worst in cinematic history. But you know, the rest of the movie was fine. Um, I just think he needs a good shot, like a good team, and um, just I want him to be happy. So I'm gonna give this a little higher of a score. 65. It's still really bad, but it's highly entertaining.
Okay. I mean, he might have a shot with the prequel to The Orphan, so we'll see.
I'm hoping.
Brendan, The New Blood. Do you have
Uh,
any additional final thoughts? If not, just the rating.
um, n- no more additional thoughts really. I would say that for a rating, I'm probably gonna have to give it a 70.
70%. Okay. 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 Um, this is a bad movie. Um, it's just a real bad movie. Uh, I'm glad I have it in my collection now, though. And for $3, you can't really go wrong with that. Um, I do want to revisit this movie. I'm actually going to revisit this movie eventually, and I'm going to be really drunk when I do. And I feel like I'm going to have a good time again because I had a good time. I had a good time watching this movie, but it's real bad, and I'm trying to distinguish whether I want to rate this movie based on the actual quality of the movie or if I want to base it on my personal enjoyment. So before I give this rating, can I get some insight from you guys? How did you rate this movie? I think we need to establish this going forward because um 80% is pretty high for this movie. So,
Alright, fuck
I
off.
I just
For
no,
real.
it's not a diss. It's not a diss. It's just I wanna understand where your guys' head's at. So, going forward, this is gonna be Redrum official now. Should we base our reviews on our enjoyment of the movie or the actual quality of the movie? Brendan, go.
I think it depends on the movie because something like this has no, you know as much as we may have enjoyed it, it has no merit to it. Whereas something like Midsommar or The Lighthouse, those are actually good films. So maybe it would depend on the film. Uh, if it's just like like a little popcorn slasher or something, we wouldn't rate that the same way as we do something like uh, Color Out of Space or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to pull titles out of my ass, but I don't know if that
That's what you name?
what
So we're putting
I've
these
never
movies in
heard of that
category.
movie.
you've never heard of Color Out of Space?
It's a
No.
Nicolas Cage movie.
What?
Oh, it's a Lovecraft adaptation. It's
Oh.
fantastic. Although Richard Stanley is a gross rapist, and I do not stand by him.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
What's it called, though?
Color Out of Space.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, it okay, so I feel like we're putting these movies in two different categories, and if we're going in with the expectation it's gonna be bad, we're rating it on, like, how good the bad movie is compared to other bad movies, and vice versa if it's a good movie, correct?
That's my thought.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys all agree with that?
You said that way too fast.
I feel like it would I oh jeez. I feel like we would have to, like, set a precedent of what's a good movie and what's a bad movie.
What do you mean, Georgie? Leeches is not a good movie.
I never said it was, but if I were to like, rate it against other bad movies, I'd probably rate it pretty high. Which, granted, is why I rated this movie high, is because I fucking enjoyed every single second of it, because it's bad and I love it.
Okay, guys, well, I'm conflicted here. So, I I'm going to give this movie a 35%. Now
Jesus, oh my lord, okay.
Impressive.
That's the lowest you've given, right?
Even
this is
lower than You're
the
Next.
this is surprisingly because that movie's really bad.
Wait, you don't like You're Next?
I do not like Your
I know,
Next.
right?
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Give it to him, Brendan.
Someone call 911. I think I'm having a heart attack.
Give it to him.
Oh,
I wish you were
no.
I wish you were actually here for that episode, Brandon, I really do.
That's one of my all-time favorite, like, slasher movies.
My god.
Well, to each their own.
Anyways, sorry, continue.
Teacher's own.
So, so the 35% is actually a bump. That's with my enjoyment factored in.
Oh god, Kyle.
Because if we were taking out the enjoyment part of it, it would be sitting at around a 15%. Because I do think the quality of this movie is just hot garbage, but I did enjoy it. I actually had fun with it. The experience of the movie was fun. So I'm going to give it a 35% for Stay Alive. So,
Which is
that being said, the official Redrum score for Stay Alive 2006 is 62%.
Okay, that's fair. I can get on board with that.
that is a very fair score for this movie.
100% fair.
I had to average this out. I had to do it.
Yeah.
But
It would have been way too high.
it would have been way too high. But hey, like I said, to each their own.
Teacher's own.
On that note, this has been another episode of Ruminations of Redrum, the demon spawn of the Ruminations Radio Network. If you like what we're doing here, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Ruminations of Redrum and on Twitter at of Redrum. That's OF Redrum. And please subscribe on iTunes or Spotify and make sure you hit us up with a review. Smash that like button and give us a review. That being said, I'm your host, Kyle. With every kill begins with K.
Oh, there it is.
Georgie, the final girl.
I loved that, Kyle. Thank you so much for that musical gift.
Well, you brought it to fruition, so thank you. The new blood, Brendan.
Wear a mask. get vaccinated, and join our Discord.
And Ian, with now 2 E's.
Have a good day, you goddamn gorgeous son of a gun. God.
And on that note, please wear a mask. And most importantly, stay